Didn't you think that you being a witness in this case might do your company some good? That is, you'd get your name out there.
There is no question that anybody that's seen anything about this case would be aware of the fact that it's getting media coverage.
Welcome back. Co-host Jenny Hutt joins me. Also, Dennis Root. He was a key defense witness in the Zimmerman trial. He had been grilled by the state there, but jurors apparently agreed with his opinion that Zimmerman was justified in shooting Trayvon Martin. He is with us tonight in his first interview since the verdict was rendered. Back with us as well, Frank Taffy, Casey Jordan, and Brian Copeland. First off, Dennis, thoughts on the verdict?
I was very satisfied with the verdict. I really thought that the jury took the time to review the information, based their decision on the evidence, and even though it was probably very difficult for them, I was glad to see that emotion wasn't part of making their decision.
And Dennis, does Zimmerman's rescue of the family in the SUV recently surprise you?
Not based on what I've heard about him. You know, things that I've heard about his ability to want to become involved, his ability to want to help and so forth. That doesn't surprise me because that seems to be a consensus of many people of the type of person that Mr. Zimmerman is.
Now, I'd like to give my panel a chance to ask Dennis questions. Casey, do you have something for Dennis?
Well, I'm very curious, Dennis, and I understand you were a witness for the defense. Do you not interpret Zimmerman's following Trayvon? It sort of turns the tables. Why are you convinced that Trayvon Martin didn't exercise self-defense against Zimmerman? I mean, after all, he's dead, so we'll never know the truth, but isn't that possible?
Well, I based everything off of the physical evidence and the statements made by the other people that were witnesses or through the 911 calls. You know, we can go back and look at all the variations of what could have happened prior to the shooting, questions that came up. Why didn't Mr. Martin make it home? If he was running home from point A to point B, how come in that amount of time he couldn't make it? You know, we can draw some of our own conclusions based off our own inferences, but I have to base my opinions off of the facts that I see as they're presented through the case.
Frank, I wonder if you have a question.
Dennis, you were awesome. You hit the ball out of the park, and it's been my contention since day one that Trayvon had plenty of time to get home and come back and be the aggressor in that situation. And my hat's off to you for standing up to the state and speaking the truth.
Jenny, go ahead.
Awesome job.
Jenny.
Yeah, but
awesome.
okay, but Frank, if you're going to say that Trayvon had plenty of time to go home and not be that, George Zimmerman had plenty of time to not get out of his car. So
that's right.
We could.
There was no law. You know what? Let's not beat that animal to death. There was no law to get out of the truck. He was simply going out to find an address.
There's no
Okay,
reason to.
well, you know, the jury has
There's no reason
spoken.
to.
The
Cool.
verdict is in.
Frank?
Not
Correct.
guilty.
I want to give
Okay,
Brian a
not
chance
guilty.
before I have to go to break. I'm up against the clock. Brian.
My question for Mr. Root is that in light of the attention, the media attention that this case has, and in light of the fact that there's so much vitriol that is involved, and I understand that there's vitriol and threats coming in your direction, do you have any regrets about involving yourself in this case?
Great question.
Regrets, no. I'm dedicated to finding the truth. I really pride myself on maintaining a neutral position and looking at everything the best that I can. And I did exactly what I said I would do, and I reviewed it the best that I could. So I don't have any regrets in that way.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, panel. Switching gears next. Did this suburban mom orchestrate